So once again, good morning. Thanks for coming to our hearing on music policy and legislation to improve the current music licensing framework. Today, industry stakeholders and artists will testify about how to protect and promote music creation for the 21st century. We're fortunate to have talented artists on the panel and several more in our audience, and we extend a warm welcome to all, but particularly those that are here because of what you contribute to the society that we have in America that benefits from our copyright laws and other protections. These laws have helped to make the United States a tremendous force of creativity and artistry in the music world. The exclusive rights and protections that our copyright laws grant are the foundation upon which America's creators and artists stand and thrive. It's important that singers, songwriters, musicians, technical engineers, producers, and all the men and women who support the creativity and artistry behind American music be rewarded for their efforts and incentivized to continue producing their invaluable work. Music enriches our lives and inspires our world. Every one of us has had a special song that touched our heart or linked to a fond memory. The magic of music has always been and will never change. But the way people enjoy and listen to their music has evolved. Times have changed from the days when people couldn't wait to get to their local record store or purchase their favorite album. Today, many stream their favorite music, using services like Amazon, Spotify, Pandora, Apple Music. Music lovers can access their favorite songs anywhere and anytime on a variety of devices. What's critical is that consumers are able to access their music legally, and that our laws do not thwart people's ability to legally enjoy their music and for artists to be compensated for their creativity. While the music industry has continued to adapt to reflect technological developments and changes in consumer preferences, the licensing framework, however, which governs the music industry, has not. Instead, the law has attempted to play catch-up as the industry has changed, resulting in a patchwork of music copyright and licensing laws that often fall short. The current statutory scheme applies inconsistent rules that place certain technologies at a disadvantage and result in inequitable compensation variances for music creators. Music copyright and licensing laws have been criticized for being too difficult to comply with and for not adequately rewarding the artists and professionals who create our music. There's been a lot of discussion on how to improve the music licensing and copyright regime to the benefit of the stakeholders involved in the creation and distribution of music. In the House of Representatives, Chairman Goodlatte of the Judiciary Committee held hearings on copyright issues, including those affecting the music industry. We collaborated with many interested parties, copyright experts, and the Copyright Office to find a path forward for music licensing. Multiple bills were introduced in both the House and Senate, but songwriters, artists, publishers, producers, and distributors have coalesced around 3 bills introduced in both the House and Senate. These bills are, as you know, number 1, the Music Modernization Act, which among other things would create a mechanical licensing collective for all digital music so that streaming entities can find and compensate artists for their work. 2, the Classic Act, which would add copyright protection for pre-1972 sound recordings. And 3, the AMP Act, which would allow the payment of performance royalties to producers, mixers, and sound engineers of sound recordings. Chairman Goodlatte combined these 3 bills into one package, H.R. 5447, the Music Modernization Act, and was able to successfully shepherd the comprehensive bill through the House of Representatives 415-0. Here in the Senate, Senator Hatch, once chairman of this committee and now the President Pro Tem of the United States Senate, has introduced 2823, which contains identical text to the House-passed bill. That bill currently has 17 co-sponsors, including this senator, and that's where we are today, and that's why we're here today. A lot of hard work went into crafting and negotiating these 3 bills that were combined into comprehensive package, after which there was more negotiation and compromise resulting in the text of S 2823. We've tried to reach consensus on what will work best for the music industry. Some concerns remain. That's kind of natural around this place. I'm hopeful that we can resolve outstanding concerns, but I think that the 415-0 vote in the House is instructive on how much support there is for this bill. Most importantly, the package is supported by music stakeholders on both sides, by digital service providers, as well as music creators. They've coalesced around the comprehensive bill. I'm encouraged by the momentum behind the unified package and the possibility of Congress finally passing meaningful reform in this area. Today, we will hear from a diverse panel of witnesses, including some very talented singers and songwriters. Mr. Robinson, what a pleasure having you here with us, a legend in your own right, and you're on this panel and you bring great prestige to it. Mr. Roberts and Mr. Kerr, we're so pleased to have you here as well. And let me also mention Mary Wilson of the Supremes, Diane Warwick, Darlene Love, and Carla Redding, and who are in the audience and supportive of this effort. We don't often have so much artistic talent in this room, so we're lucky to have you all here as well. Of course, don't forget, he writes a lot of music here as well. I look forward to hearing from our panelists about how the music licensing system works for creators and users, whether the legislation that we have before us will help address problems, and whether there are issues or concerns that we consider. I'm about ready to end. Let me say, music licensing issues are ripe for reform. And it's my sincere hope that today's discussion will start our process of moving this legislation forward here in the Senate and getting it to the President. Senator.